spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on
Dolly Levi. That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi, born Gallagher. Social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions, in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object: matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to give my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But don't you worry, I'll make sure you're carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention that I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short-distance hauling, and, varicose veins reduced.
Dolly. She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Mrs. Levi!
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. I have one of Ada Rayon looking the other way. I do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Oh, Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't leave now, we'll never make it on...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. Not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. I'm not alone, either, for I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband, Mr. Levi, always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Miss Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm headed to Yonkers, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll throw, we'll see. And well, will you take a look at that? Nothing here to pay my train fare with, only large bills, 5s and 7s.
Well, I'm sure I have some change in here, Mrs. Levi, but I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase.
Oh, and speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets, reboned, ears pierced, ears
Mrs. Levi!
Name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there. And a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give her beau a little boost. So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. I put my hand in here. I twist a little, stir a little, him a little, her a little, shape a little, mold a little, some poor chap gets sold a little. When I use my fists a little, some young bride gets kissed a little, pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand in there.
Mrs. Levi, come on.
I know, Mr. Kemper. The Yonkers train is ready to leave. You go buy our tickets, get a window seat, order lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. I'm tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi!
Sometime today. Don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. My, he says she's so attractive. Then I move my index digit, and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
Expected to play Yonkers, my Yonkers, with all of this bellowing in my ears.
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Camper.
And I say you're too old to be in love with anyone. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17 years old, and in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And quit crying in front of the store. It's bad for business.
I can't help it, Uncle. I'm unhappy.
Well, then, by thunder, you'll go and weep for a while in New York, where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oiled. Crying in front of my store. Barnaby Cornelius!
You stabbed Mr. Vandergelder.
I did. I've got important news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
But after young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, damn it! Mine! Well, what I mean is, I'm getting married again. And in honor of the occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's the way you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to your duties as usual. Now get back to work! What are you standing there for? And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip! Foolishness. 99% of the world is fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was even more foolish than anything else. And then my wife died, which was foolish of her. And I grew old, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Now I know what you're asking yourselves, why a man of so much good sense would be planning anything as stupid as getting married again. Well, the answer is simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell, and pretty dirty too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and brewing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and cleaning the guernsey and cleaning the stable. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y. Be quiet! Winter, she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, to whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking? To that dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a husky woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. Get out of here, all of you! Get going! Get out of here, you! Get back to work, you! Get out of here! What are you doing? What is this? Get going, come on! Work harder! Clean up all this! Get out of here!
Congratulations, congratulations. 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you practically proposed to Irene Malloy. Why, the streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Oh, did I say that? Oh, slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that, I mean, you know what they said, although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Oh, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder made special for him and... Oh, but it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it whatsoever, Mr. Vandergelder. Just one word of advice. Eat out.
Now, you hear me, Mrs. Levi. You mean to tell me that Mrs.
I mean
Malloy...
to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder. Just some friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. Oh, and by the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. It's beautiful. You should see it. Black. As I said before, Mr. Vandergelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in... may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Mrs. Levi, listen to me. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend on calling on her this afternoon, as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder, then I guess there's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name? Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big round as silver dollars. And skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age, 19. Weight, 102. Waist, 47.
47?
Oh, that's with the money belt. No, I could arrange for you to meet Miss Ernestina this very afternoon.
I haven't got the time, Mrs. Levi. I'm going to New York this afternoon and bringing my niece, so she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Oh, I could do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Association parade.
What a coincidence! Guess who was chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street. Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi, I'll meet this Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend on calling on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear Mr. Vandergelder, what races you make me run. Very well. I shall meet you in front of Irene Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well then, Mr. Vandergelder, I happen to have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not get into that now. It'll come up by itself all in good time. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision. A dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dressed in pink as the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. Da 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 da. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, come on out here. We've got plans to make.
Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 23 or 3/4 years old and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You're going to live on holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what happened last Christmas? All those tomato cans went bad and exploded, and you and I had to clean up the mess all afternoon. You call that living?
No.
Neither do I. Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
We can't do that.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to have to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
Like this can down drill them. Oh, they'll make such a smell. Customers won't be able to come into the store for 24 hours. That'll give us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to spend our money, and we're going to get in danger. We're going to have a good meal, and we're going to be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
Oh, Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 23 years old. I got to begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains. The lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum. The stuffed whale? The stuffed whale. What do you say?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is to make you financially independent. I know I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. Levi, I paint.
Well, then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance?
Now, there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note and see if I can't have you both entered in the polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to step foot in a cafe. And frankly, I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night, like clockwork, down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens came Ephraim and me.
Well, it's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandergelder we mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And, incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back, and I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
The ones on the bottom look all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on the top. Whoa! Not so close, they're swelled up like they're about to bust! Holy cabooses! Cornelius, I can smell it up here!
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York. Let's get dressed. Out there, world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this big town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's, and we'll close the town in a whirl, and we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign. You feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out the feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway.
Holy cabooses!
The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
Wow!
Come on! Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Sit down the street and have your picture torn. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile. It makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
work with the world's a simple song. A lovely lilt that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your feathers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose. For there's no real Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Urban Guard, stop sniveling. Don't cry in the valises. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving. Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard!
All aboard, all aboard, all aboard.
Put on your high silk hat and at the turn of dawn. And wear a handmade grace with cotton brown. We'll join the asters and Tony pastors and this I'm positive of. That we won't come home. That we won't come home. That we won't come home until we fall in love.
Oh dear, would you look at that? It's 10 o'clock and the store's not open yet. I tell you, it's all because of the impending marriage. What marriage? Well, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage that Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. But if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband. Mr. Peter Malloy, may he rest in peace wherever he is, I'm not quite sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, anyway, it's all too much with late husbands and new marriages. And on top of everything else, Mrs. Mortars was turning this half for the third time. Same old story. She wants more cherries and feathers. Cherries and feathers to catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do a lot better with a nice heavy veil. Anyway, she'd have none of that, none of that. Cherries and feathers is what she wants. And on today of all days, when poor dear sweet Malloy has enough in her mind, what with all the
With what, Minnie?
with the door, Miss Malloy. I can't seem to get the door. It's stuck.
It's stuck. Then push.
And as I was saying, Miss Malloy, I could bite my tongue for the things that I've said and all the things that I'm about to say, but as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way out. Miss Malloy, why do you...
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
I didn't ask you that, Miss Malloy. I could never ask you such a personal question. I'd rather die in the rack. But as long as you did bring it up...
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Oh, Miss Malloy.
Don't protest, Minnie. I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman, with nothing to show for it anyway.
Miss Malloy.
Really,
I don't
Minnie, don't
understand.
protest. I can't even go into restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they'd need. Take my word for it, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. Face it, either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no. Not Mrs. Mortimer again.
Oh, don't worry. It's Mrs. Mortimer, but I'll take care of it.
No, no. You leave it be, Minnie. You can make another hat for Mrs. Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
You can't do that, Miss Malloy. Well, you're a widow, and that hat, well, it's provocative. That's what it is.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today? And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Oh, Miss Malloy.
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer, blue and green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by, and so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
I thought I had scissors right here just a minute ago. Can't seem to find them, Miss Malloy. Oh, goodness gracious. They were just here a minute ago. I had them. I could have sworn.
And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
Miss Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask these questions that I'm about to ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman as long as it's true love. And it was that. Minnie, look. There's two men staring at the shop.
Men!
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men in the shop! Miss Malloy, what shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the younger one.
And you with all that talk about love?
Love enough I've had. Many a bit of adventure I could do it now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, You go into the workroom, Minnie. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a little bit of wit will only make them more nervous and easier for us to...
Oh, if you say vampire, I'll just scream!
Vampire! And so, I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
Oh, we'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we wander through New York, then we come to the quietest street in the city, and suddenly... Vandergelder! Is he still out there? Go look! He's right there! Oh, Cornelius, is this an adventure? Oh, you don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right. How much money have you got left?
Well, see, 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale.
Why? When those ladies come out here, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Well, maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything. We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs. Here, Cornelius Hackle. Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Oh, well, you see, we're ladies. And we want to see if we can find some hats to Malloy. We want a hat. Oh, for a lady, of course. And everybody said to come to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, too, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would leave us enough to see the whale.
You've got to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers just to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just you keep an eye on that street, Barnaby. Maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's right there on the bench.
Did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. Oh, and forgive me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers. Well, by that, of course, I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
Oh, you are? Barnaby, she's a widow! oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sure that Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course, not Mr. Malloy, may he rest in peace. You are Catholic, aren't you? Oh, and don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday afternoon free in the near future, I would be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, Mr. Hackle, as a matter of fact, I may be in Yonkers sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I happen to have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Yes, perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
It's so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Oh, Horace Vandergelder.
Oh, Vandergelder's hand feed.
Why, yes, do you know him?
No.
He's a very sensual man and well-liked, they tell me.
A lovely man, Mrs. Malloy. He has only one fault as far as I know. He's as hard as nails.
Oh, Cornelius, I think.
Perhaps your friend might like this one, you know?
Excuse us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Oh, look out!
Excuse me. Come out of there this minute.
Help us, Mrs. Malloy. We'll explain later.
Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, I insist that you come out of there at once, or else we... Mr. Vandergelder, hello.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Malloy. I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. And when I make an appointment, I expect people to be on time. Oh, well, she can just go looking for me when she comes, I suppose. Here, I brought a gift for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. There you are. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now, why don't you come on back to my workroom? I'm so anxious for you to see it.
Well, I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, how's everything in the hay and feed business, Mr. Vandergelder? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. I mean,
What on earth are you talking about, Mrs. Malloy?
Yonkers. I hear it's a very beautiful city.
And who, may I ask, has been telling you about Yonkers?
Nobody, just a friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He?
yes, a very substantial man, quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He comes from Yonkers. Perhaps you know him. Although it's so silly to ask in cases like that. It's a Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Mm-hmm.
He happens to be my chief clerk. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Mr. Hackle? He's one of the most famous men in New York. Why, he's at the opera. He's at all the fashionable homes. Why, he even eats dinner at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 2-3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He is one of the Hackles. They, built the canal.
Which canal?
The Panama.
Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's... I can't say it, but it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were as taken with him as everybody else.
Really, Dolly, I've only met him once in my life. I wouldn't know.
Of course.
Now hear me, Mrs. Levi. If there's a man in that
Mr.
closet...
Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
Mrs. Levi, no man that hides in ladies' closets frightens me. Stand
No
aside.
man, indeed. Why, I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles, why, I can see them now rippling back and forth beneath your coat. Ripple, 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 back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
Mrs. Levi, please. For the last time, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. That's exactly what the courts will want to know when they accuse you of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people. And now I must echo here what was once said by that great and patriotic American,
Moses!
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir, there's a two-cent eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the Sugar King, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for motherhood,
Alamo,
America,
remember
and
the
a hot lunch for orphans.
I regret that I would like to give for my country. In the words of Lincoln, one if I get and two if I see. Yes, that I've shot the shame to down. Oh, Stonewall
If
Jackson,
you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath,
stand up and
march, march. 407 years ago, march, march, march.
form a more perfect union.
March, march,
Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
march, march, march.
So, you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet. God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy?
All right, Mr. Vandergelder. There is a man in that closet.
Aha!
And one under the table as well.
What the devil?
There also happens to be a very simple explanation, but for the present, good day.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the head float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy. I did right now. Mrs. Malloy, I can
I
explain
do not
everything.
wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I shall be forced to call for Officer Gargan.
Darling, if you ask me, calling an officer's letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis and a garnishee. Now, the main thing is to prove that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may take myself and Miss Spade to dinner tonight.
Oh, delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now I hear there's a lovely little restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for you and your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us.
Oh, don't misunderstand me. We couldn't go there. No, it isn't the money or anything. The whale! Yes, it's the whale. It's the whale. No, it's not the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. The dancing, yes. They have dancing in places like that, exhibitions, even contests, and well, I don't know how. And it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 23 3/4-year-old chief clerk, taught how to dance.
Now, it's very simple. You put one arm here and one arm here.
Oh, well, it's absolutely no use. I have no sense of rhythm.
Oh, but absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. Let's start with lesson 7, shall we? The waltz, kick, turn, right foot, touch, left foot, touch, back foot, around, touch, release, and unfurl. Oh, that's wonderful, Mr. Hackle. When I think of all the lucky women who'll find heaven in your arms. Let's start with lesson 1, shall we? Put your hand on her waist and stand. With her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Other foot, Mr. Hackle. 1, 2, 3.
I'm dancing!
Oh!
Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. That's right. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow! I'm dancing! Look at me, everybody!
Turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me, everybody. I, Cornelius Sport, am dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Slide and step, and then step and glide.
And everyone stand aside.
That's right, Mr. What did
Look, he's dancing.
You could learn to polka if you worked a week or so, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I could join the chorus at a castle garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sake, be free. My heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if I ever stop?
You're doing wonderful, Mr. Happy.
Head up, Mr. Hackle. That's right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to. Remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you only just said hello, we suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music leave a smell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry.
Around and around you go. Your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
How are you, Mrs. Levi?
How are you, Mrs. Rose?
ago last September. You've been gone such a long time, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've made myself a little rum toddy, and before I went to bed, said a prayer thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. But then one night an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim, a perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that leaf. For years I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other might turn out well. And so, Ephraim, I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everyone will be marching.
Well, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Mrs. Levi, the world is full of such wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene, I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high, for I've got a goal again. I've got to drive again. I've got to feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old
Oh, she's beautiful, Mrs. Levi. Everything you said and more. Oh, stay right there, Miss Money. I'm coming. Hey, you! Get your hands off that woman. That's my fiancée. I paid good money for that woman, and I want all the parts. Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. Just a last-minute substitution. Miss Money's running a little late. She had an urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short, and she's helping out. But don't you worry, she'll be at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
But that's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And well, it should be. What food? And the fastest waiters in New York. Oh, I might be running a little late. So Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant at 8 o'clock. Oh, wait till you see her horse, all in baby blue, and singing an old-fashioned tune. Yes, Sweet Rosie O'Grady. Oh, you couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I've already paid for an introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But hear me, Dolly. From here on out, you are discharged as my marriage broker. Is that understood? From now on out, you're just a woman like anyone else. Come back here with that. I'm not done with her.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
Mr. Hackle, we've just loved looking at the lights of 14th Street these past 4 hours. But now perhaps you'd better call the hacker. We won't make it to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, look, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, we
Yoo-hoo,
couldn't
over
do
here.
that, Mrs. Malloy. Now, it isn't the money or anything like that. It's just that nowadays really elegant people never take hacks.
Tax is out.
They all go by streetcar. J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Well, then by all means, a streetcar.
Just imagine, I've been elegant all my life and never knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do!
you walk. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular. What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it off.
All who are well-bred agree Minnie Fay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest whims tonight. We are out with diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us.
We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of it, savoir-faire. We're ink of it, some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches. And Vanderbilt kowtows to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us.
We've got elegance, we were born with elegance.
Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
And the way I keep my pinky up, indubitably proves that we've got elegance, we've got built-in elegance, and with elegance, we'll carry it on. their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, are you going to escort us in?
Oh, of course we are, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy.
Yes, Mr. Haggle?
Mrs. Malloy, as we step inside, may I,
Yes, Mr. Haggle?
may I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Haggle. But I may as well warn you. A corset is a corset.
Und it is my order as head waiter of the Ammonia Garden and your supreme commander that tonight of all nights, our usual lightning service must be twice as lightning as ever, or else. I trust you're finding this table satisfactory, sir. The prior dining room view cost a bit more, but offer a much better view of the entertainment.
Cornelius, $1.40. That's all that's left.
Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I was wrong. It's only $1.35. Shall I try one more time?
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Later.
I have told you before, sir, you will have to move. This table is reserved for Mrs. Levi and party. And who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandergelder and party. She's in my party and I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandergelder, of course. It's just Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about you bringing
my personal physician? That's enough with the feathers, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered the chicken for two.
Chickens are dear.
Un pâté maison, so Dijon, pomme soufflé.
Well, why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice while we're waiting. Now get out. So, Miss Money, Mrs. Levi tells me you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2, only it's in my garter.
sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius. But, you know, and our reputations, too. Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Oh, I don't think I could have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones! What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasant!
Felt a slight chill, that's all.
Now, let's order something. Hold it until the rice comes. Waiter! Waiter. I'll have a roast duckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some ladyfingers. Now, what do you have?
Again, Cornelius, it really is sweet of you to worry about our digestion. But I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute, no wine.
No wine?
Champagne!
Champagne!
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, give the band leader nickel and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, well then I'll dance myself. Give $2 to the band leader and tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise you won't order anything else.
All right, Miss Money. I'll tell the band leader to play a nice waltz. You just wait here. Look, you, give this to the band leader and tell him to play a nice waltz.
Get this to the band leader and tell him to play a...
Miss Money!
And 2 more pheasants, please, Cornelius!
My purse! I've lost my purse! Here, you! Give me that! That's my purse! Miss Money!
Oh, because it only has a dollar 3 times 5 quarters and Cornelius! Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? 3? 4? Pheasants for the house! And never mind if I don't do well, I'll buy one of my own!
What is this? Shouting? How many times have I told you not to shout, boy? This is the Harmonia Gardens, not one of those...
But, sir, she's here, the lady.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock on the nose, up pulls the carriage. Out steps a tall lady with red hair and the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It's she! Mrs. Levi, she's back!
Rhoda! Is it true? Is it really her? I heard someone laughing outside, and it sounded just like...
It is! It's Dolly! Fritz, turn the band. She just stepped out of a carriage.
Rhoda, he's through, no?
It's true, yeah. She just pulled up in a white and gold carriage. pulled by 6 black horses with scarlet plumes.
Ah, Rudolph, he's like the old times, no?
Excuse me, girlie. Dolly, what are you doing in that getup? And you're a half an hour late. And I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina.
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, let's go sit down. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. Oh, now don't let's say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
Well, what you wanted, a chicken. Now, about that hoochie-coochie
Oh, a
girl...
chicken? I don't think I could face a chicken, not tonight, not after what's happened.
Good. Cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing, just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the problem with you, Dolly Levi. Always wanting to know everything, always sticking your nose in other people's affairs. Why, any man who married you would be as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you said?
Well, I said that any man who married
Horace
you would...
Vanderbilt, you get that idea right out of your head this minute. I can't believe you even mentioned such a thing. Why, understand once and for all, Horace, that I have no intention of marrying you.
Oh, well, I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. I mean, understand once and for all, Horace, you go your way, I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
But I didn't suggest it at
Well,
all.
I certainly do hope not. But understand this, Mr. Vandergelder. If I did marry again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. Oh, but let's not say another word about it. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Master Vandergelder, Rudolph. Now, there's some white meat for you. And some dumplings, oh, lighter than air they are, and some giblets, very tender and very good for you. Now, as I said before, Mr. Vandergelder, you go your way, I'll go mine. Oh, but since we did bring the matter up, there is one more thing I think I am going to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say before we forget all about it. It's true that I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well, we won't say another word about it. Oh, have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's good. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless, so like you is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Would you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. Horace, at your age, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
At my age, you keep talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and a bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Now sit down, Horace. Have some more beets. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
Good. No, Horace, you know, the pity of it all is you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
No, I don't want to be charming.
Oh, but you are. Just look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down, Horace, and let's talk of something else. However, before we change the subject, there is one more thing I think I'm going to say.
Save it, Dolly Levi. I'm not going to ask you to marry me.
Well, then I suppose you want me to ask you? Well, I'm sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't even asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I don't want my wings caught.
No man does, Horace. No man does.
I have a headache. I'm going back to my restaurant.
Oh,
Waiter,
you can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Waiter, here's $20 for the food and... Oh, wait, what's this? This isn't my wallet. Why, there's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. My purse. I lost my purse.
Oh, that's terrible.
What's going on? Barnaby, that purse you found. It can't be, Dolly.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vandergelder's. Where'd it go?
Oh, what am I going to do? They don't know me here. I've never been here before. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka. And there's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. Now, Rudolph, will you move our table down front so Mr. Vandergelder can better observe his graceful movements?
That man, that dancer.
Oh, isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
I'm going to have to cut it a bit. Excuse me, short.
Look, Minnie, a polka. Oh, Cornelius, I simply must have one then.
Vandergelder's right there. We gotta go.
We will go, but we'll dance our way out.
Horace, look at him. He's great. Oh,
Cornelius Hackle! Mr. Vandergelder! Barnaby Tucker!
Mr. Vandergelder.
Herman Gord! Oh, Dolly Levi, this is your doing! I know you're behind this!
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
I don't want an explanation! Dolly Levi, how could you do this? I can't believe you're doing this! What is this? This is totally insane! I can't believe any of this! What are you talking about? Dolly? Dolly, you're behind this too, aren't you? Dolly Levi, I know that you're behind this. I'm not going to ask you to narrate. This is an outrage! This would never happen in Yonkers! I'm going to get my lawyer! You're going to hear from me!
Quiet! That's better. Now, you're all charged with disturbing the peace, assault and battery, inciting to riot, and several other equally serious charges violating the laws of this city. Now, is there anyone here to speak in your behalf? I say, is there anyone here to speak in your behalf? Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law?
Your Honor, the defense rests. No, there is no need to call witnesses, ladies and gentlemen, when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor. And a nose. Oh, look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Will you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E probuscus unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit. Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York. The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
Cut and torn of bigger bruise than a solid gold cup bet.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that for the court, dear?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something to say.
Oh, go right ahead, Mr. Hackle. I was just about to call on you.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, I'll have you discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
Well, then I'll do it again, I will.
Well, you've already done it again, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say today. Your Honor, I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting the riot. But I do know that what happened to me today which is the most important thing that can ever happen to a man, might never have happened if I'd obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I'm speaking of none other than love.
Cornelius Hackle, you mean to tell me that after 23 years you've fallen in love by taking one evening off?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandergelder, I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this fair city in just an evening. An hour. Even that's too long. Oh, what's less than a minute?
A second!
Oh, less than that.
A moment!
That's it. I'll go slow so you get all this down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Oh, isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat cooped up in Yonkers for years and years, and all the while, wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around, yet I didn't know them at all. Well, for instance, I don't know whether you can all see from where you're standing, but, well, for instance, the way her eye and forehead and cheek come together up here, can you? Oh, I tell you right now, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids, but they aren't in it all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today I talked to one equal to equal, and they're so awfully different from men, and very mysterious, too. Well, I bet you could know a woman 100 years without really being sure whether she liked you or not. Today I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important, but I don't care. Even if I have to be a ditch digger for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
I missed a few words back there, Mr. Hackle. Right after, it only
Takes a moment, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment.
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
And that is all that love's about.
And we'll recall when time runs out that it only took a moment
To be loved.
a whole life long.
Dismiss! Dismiss! All dismiss! All except Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York. You're all dismissed. You're free, my children. And bless you. Go! Go!
there's only one more thing for me to say.
You're wasting your time, Dolly. I won't ask you to marry me. Not in a million years. Not if you were the last woman on earth.
That wasn't it at all, Horace. All I was going to say was, goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Now, hold on, Dolly.
No, Horace, it's no use. I failed, and when a woman fails, there's nothing left for her to say.
Wait.
But,
Hey.
goodbye, 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 goodbye. And don't try to stop me, Horace, please. Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie. You ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a knocking at my door. For I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling low. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. So, and on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a knocking, I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you were the last woman on earth. Not if you were to ask me 1,000,000 times would I ever marry you. No, I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Oh! Dolly, Dolly, Dolly!
You stabbed Mr. Vandergelder?
What's this? You come crawling back for your job, I suppose, have you?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandergelder. I just stopped by for my $146.35. Well, you see, I decided to go into business for myself. And, well, since the only business I know is hay and feed, I decided to open up my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location. Right across the street from you.
Oh, so you think you can compete with Vandergelders, do you? Well, we'll see about that. Oh, and another one come crawling back, huh? What do you want?
My back pay for the past 4 months. $6.12.
You can't do this to me. Any of you, I'll go to the courts. I'll get my lawyers. You'll hear from me on this one. I know that you...
Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, you don't look handsome in that outfit. So if you men nowadays have the courage to wear an apron in their dress clothes.
Dolly,
I know what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, don't you worry. I found you the ideal wife. But don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money. $146.
And 35 cents.
And $6.12 of mine.
That's the money my mama left me. It's $52.48.
38.
48.
All right, fine. If it's money you want, then the safe's upstairs.
Fine. Get your money. Fine.
and feed shop in this city.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most of the people in the world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? I mean, himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. Yes, we're all fools, and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to save us is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in the world. And that takes a little money. The difference between a little money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight. But that can shatter the world, too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband, Ephraim Levi, always used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Oh, there you are. But take that upstairs to the front room. Get going. You're wasting time.
Oh, as I said before, Mr. Vandergelder, I found you the ideal wife.
Dolly, I don't need you to find me any ideal wives. If I want to find an ideal wife, I'll find her myself. And I have. And it's you, damn it.
Horace.
Now, Dolly, I know I've been a fool in the past with Mrs. Malloy and that hoochie girl. But please, forgive me and marry me.
No, stop right there, Horace.
What do you mean?
Well, you know as well as I that you're the first citizen of Yonkers. And your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, it won't be enough for you to load your wife with jewels, to insist she be a benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up a store right across the street from you. Better take him back and let him be a partner.
Partner?
And then Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now, see here,
so
Dolly.
we can all be together to dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
Now, Dolly Levi, you've gone too far. There will be no dancing at any weddings. Besides, I can't dance, and it would take me months, weeks, years to even learn. All right, I'll dance.
Oh, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Well, what are you doing standing there? The front room, you idiot. Let's get going.
Horace Vandergelder, what is going on up there?
I've decided to have the front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace!
Now, I know the old paper ain't worn out yet. But, you see, that young lad's just setting up his business, and the way I figure it is money, pardon the expression, is a little bit like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you. Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at. Horace, Dolly, you'll never go away.
Wonderful woman. Again.